It's time now for the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Morton and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Matt Mumme Air Raid football show right here at Marisol. Hope you're having a great evening tonight. If you want to have an even better evening, come on out right now to Marisol and join us. We're having a great evening tonight. A lot of folks out here. A lot of folks having a good time. And, Coach, I know you've been joined by some friends here. It's time to talk about some football, but not our best game as we look back to our game this Saturday as we travel to Montgomery to take on Huntington.
Not really a lot we want to talk about on this one. You know, but I mean,
Did you watch any college other football in the NFL we might want to get to?
You know, my hat's off to Mike Turk. He does a great job with Huntington College. He's been there for 13, 14 seasons now, and he's really got those guys built up and going in the right direction. And, of course, they won the conference last year, and this year they've been ranked as high as 15th in the nation. I think they're sitting right around the 25th in the nation right now.
Right.
And, you know, you look at Division III football, and there's 294 teams. They're 25th in the nation. They're pretty good.
That's pretty good. They've got had a couple of real workhorses. The quarterback, Luke Bailey, was just as advertised. Did a great job running that offense. He had a leading back, John Iwanek. He had 16 carries for 83 yards and just was almost impossible to stop, it seemed. He just kept getting the ball at really opportune times, and then if he didn't have the ball, Bailey was just tossing over our heads.
Yeah, and, you know, as the game went, I really was proud of our defense in a lot of situations. They got a lot of stops, which is what Coach Chambers and I had talked about. I said, look, stop them 2 or 3 times in the first half, stop them 2 or 3 times in the second half, and we should be in good shape. I mean, we went into the game with the number 1 offense passing in the nation. Right. You know, we're in the top 10 in total offense. Connor Blair's been having a great season, and so we felt confident in our game plan. Second quarter came around, and our left tackle ended up being out of the game, and our right tackle was out of the game, and the game plan really drastically changed for us. 2 freshmen had to go in. Simeon Tanner went in at left tackle, and we had Jody Poole in at right tackle. And, you know, those guys are going to be great football players. They're just freshmen right now, and so they got baptized into the game of college football.
Well, and just not just their youth, but just their size. Being, the 18-year-old coming into college and playing against guys that are 2-3 years older, and also the mass that comes with the weight room and the time in the gym, getting ready for a ball game like that. I was reading some interviews actually from the Montgomery paper. Coach Shirk said that was really their goal, was to come in and put a lot of pressure on Connor, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, and, you know, Connor McNamee has done a tremendous job with our O-line. And those guys have not given up but 9 sacks all year, I think. And so it was going to be tough for them to get to him, and Mike was right. I mean, Connor hasn't had a lot of games where he's had a lot of pressure. And for those out there who don't know, you know, our right tackle, Tony Alexander, who's 6'3.5" and 275, 285, and then our left tackle, who's 6'2.5" and weighs 290. I mean, to replace those guys with a guy that's 5'9" and weighs 240 and a guy that's 6'2" and is 245, I mean, that was a big difference.
Giving up, just the height and weight battle, and then, of course, just the experience battle is the other side of that.
Without a doubt. And so, you know, we're hopeful. We're optimistic that we'll get those guys back. You know, right now we're having a game plan for the next game, a little more cautious than we normally would, but you know, it's just time for guys to step up.
All right, we'll talk more about that game. We'll look ahead, and we'll also bring in Coach's wife, Miss Phaedra, to join us and talk about some cool things. But right now, you're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show right here on Eagle Sports.
When you choose a dentist, you want to know that you made the right decision. So where do you start? Go to BellDentalCenter.com. That's the right way to begin to know Dr. Bell and his staff. And then drop in at 106 Corporate Plaza Drive in LaGrange and visit with the staff. And you'll know that this is the right place for you and your family. Bell Dental Center offers comprehensive dentistry with an emphasis on aesthetics, restorative treatments, mini dental implants, root canal therapy, sedation dentistry, as well as Botox and Juvederm treatments. Bell Dental Center. Visit their website at BellDentalCenter.com.
Mention LaGrange College and the word 1 pops up a lot. Like the student-faculty ratio is 11-to-1. That means plenty of one-on-one time with professors. Our students work for number 1 companies, earn Emmy and Grammy nominations, and they give back to their communities, which is wonderful. We are LaGrange College, one of the South's most affordable, highly ranked institutions. One visit, and you'll see why. LaGrange.edu/journey.
Calling all area coaches. Calling all area coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, and more. Mud Creek Team Sales is now selling sporting goods like Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rollins, and Russell for travel teams, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and more. For more information, call Mud Creek Team Sales today at 706-884-5592. Call Coach Jeter or Greg Hicks. Calling all area coaches. Mud Creek Team Sales with all your sporting goods. Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rollins, and Russell. Mud Creek Team Sales, a proud sponsor of today's game.
Have you eaten at Summit Grill? Well, then tomorrow is your day to enjoy some biscuits in the morning. And for lunch, grab the blue plate with 3 sides and a drink. What? You want hand-breaded fresh chicken? Summit Grill has it. Let's say you want to feed the whole crew. Large orders are no problem. Chicken with bone-in or chicken tenders, Summit Grill's got you covered. 2 locations on West Point Road next to Pegasus Parkway in LaGrange, or on State Road in West Point, Georgia, next to Frisky Whiskey. Come eat with us at Summit Grill.
Now back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show live here from Marisol. Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, if you haven't had a chance to have dinner tonight, come on out. It's a great evening. I have some fish and chips I'm just staring at and really excited that I'll get to. Just, Martha Perkle's reaching for them. I got to make her stop. We'll be talking homecoming in a little bit, but we're also going to talk about some things that are going on with Coach's family. His wife, Phaedra, is joining us here on the show. And Phaedra, you've got some information for us about the Boys and Girls Club. For those that aren't familiar, what is the Boys and Girls Club?
The Boys and Girls Club is a community-based organization that provides a safe environment for our young people, our students aged 6 through 18 for after-school activities, and during the summer, it's full-day activities.
In fact, the summer program is really a very special program because it doesn't cost a lot for the people that and those that need it. Those kids have incredible experiences all summer long through the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
I'm really proud of that organization. I've been working with the United Way, of course, this year. I'm campaign chair for the fundraising
That's
United
awesome.
Way, and they're one of our agencies. And so I encourage people to give to United Way because they can support the Boys and Girls Club just like that. Now, we have our club here in LaGrange. Lots of kids are involved in that. They get a chance to go every afternoon.
Yes, we actually have 2 clubs here in LaGrange. We have one on Cannon Street, and then we have one, a new one this year at Callaway Middle.
Wow.
So, yeah, and we're off to a good start there, serving, I think, around 30 students the last time I heard. So the word is spreading, so that's great.
That's excellent. Now, also in Hogansville, I think there's a third club because Hogansville does not have an aftercare program. They actually have the Boys and Girls Club work with their students in the afternoon every day.
Right, yes. We have the Hogansville site as well, and then also Valley, Alabama. So that's all kind of under our West Georgia Boys and Girls Clubs.
Well, just what are some of the activities that the kids might participate in if they go to the Boys and Clubs and the Girls Club in the afternoon?
You know, there's all kinds of really great, awesome activities. They do a lot of character building with the children, and lots of sports-centered activities. And they actually partner with LaGrange College a lot. And some of Matt's football players go and help out as well. And I know the basketball team gets involved too. And then there's some really neat up-and-coming teen programs for the teen population. So we're really hoping that population will grow.
Well, those are the kids that we really do need to give something to do in the afternoon.
Right, yes.
The idle hands or the devil's workshop, if they don't have anything to do, then they may get into some mischief. But it is an awesome organization. We really do appreciate you taking a moment to highlight it for us here on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jack. I appreciate it. Yeah. And we just encourage you, if you have a child that's interested, of course there is a fee, but the Boys and Girls Club will work with anyone because they don't want to turn any child away.
Well, and compared to an aftercare or some sort of, even in schools aftercare, or if you get into a daycare in the afternoon, it's very, very reasonable what the Boys and Girls Club does for kids.
Definitely, for sure.
I think there's a snack involved very often, too.
Yes,
That's what your guys turn out for, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anytime there's food, they're going to get up there. They're going to be available. So
it's educational. They're learning life lessons. It's good for them socially. They're building friendships, and food is provided. So there's all kinds of stuff going on there in the afternoons.
I love that we're also using that Cannon Street site, and that it's a former elementary school, but instead of that building just sitting there not being used, it really is nice to have all those people involved in what's going on there at that particular location.
Yes, we have some great kids and some great staff working there, and we have a spring event fundraiser that we do, and then recently we had our golf tournament for the fall event. So Any support we can get will be wonderful and appreciated. It really does make a difference in the lives of these children, and it changes their lives for the better.
It gives them a safe place to be and activities that are going to help to enrich and build their character as well.
Yes.
Well, Paige, thank you for joining us to talk a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club.
Thank you for having me, Jack.
Right.
I appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk more LaGrange College football right here on Eagle Sports.
I don't know about you ladies, but I love to keep my car clean. The only problem is my schedule. I just don't have time to wash it myself, but I have found the place to go. The LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. They have great prices, and I always feel comfortable there. They do an amazing job, and if that's not enough to get you to give them a try, they also get you in and out in no time. LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. Open 8:30 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Just look for the giant gorilla at the LaGrange Car Wash.
Everywhere you look on your campus, some event is happening, and that's the way you want it. Keeping your active campus clean and looking its best isn't easy. Nonetheless, National makes it look easy. Low staff turnover and a commitment to excellence allow National to ensure your campus from top to bottom, inside and out, is always perfect and spotless. Parents and students alike give us a 4.0 and settle for nothing less. You'll like having National on the job.
Visit us at teamnational.com. See what National can do for you.
Great dining starts at Marisol on Main Street in LaGrange. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Locally owned and operated by Charles and Chase Hudson, who have created a fun atmosphere with delicious food for you and your family. So no matter if you're out with friends and want to visit at the bar or sit down for a family meal, Marisol is here for you. Marisol, LaGrange, on Facebook and on the web at marisolrestaurant.com. Choose a dentist. You made the right decision. So where do you start? Go to BellDentalCenter.com. That's the right way to begin to know Dr. Bell and his staff, and then drop in at 106 Corporate Plaza Drive and visit with the staff, and you'll know that this is the right place for you and your family. Offers comprehensive dentistry with an emphasis on aesthetics, restorative treatments, mini dental implants, root canal therapy, sedation dentistry, as well as Botox and derm treatments. Bell Dental Center. Visit their website at BellDentalCenter.com.
You're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show live here from Marisol. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and we're here every Monday night at Marisol. I've got some special shows coming up in the next couple of weeks, but right now let's go back to our Huntington game. We won't dwell a whole lot on that, but Coach, as we started that ball game, Huntington brought both bands out to the field, both our LaGrange College band under the direction of Josh Roberts, and also their band, which has been it's a collegiate band. It's a big old band.
Yeah, Josh is doing a great job with them, and that was nice of Huntington to allow us to come over, because I think most places are. I know when we asked to take them to BSC, they didn't really want that, but they still went, and it was good, and it was great to have them there for Huntington. I told Josh, I said, hey, make as much noise as you can when they're on offense. I think they did for a little while. We kept them into it, but, this thing just got away from us.
Yep. They actually had a huge busy day. They left there, went to two other places and played. So they had I think they weren't home till about midnight that night after a long day.
Long day for them.
Yep. Well, now, going back to the game there of they score, we answer, and really, as we were talking in our radio broadcast, that really was probably the prescription to try to beat Huntington, is to continue to answer, because their two big studs are going to find a way to score, it seems, but they just kind of got away from us as the ball game went on.
We had a good game plan, and I was confident in Felton Huggins. My OC did a good job of getting some stuff together, and early, we kind of were driving, and Josh Hardrick had a couple of drops that were wide open drops, and it was just unfortunate for him that happened. And he's typically a great player, and he rebounded and had a good game after that. But, it's just one of those deals where against a team like that, a top 25 team, you got to make those plays, and you got to make plays in big games. And so, if we had done that and been able to kind of answer a couple of more times and been, 14-14 or 21-21 before Hank went out, our left tackle, I think we might have been able to hang in there with them a little bit better.
Well, again, it was a game that did have some guys that step up and do some pretty special things. I was really impressed with Lavelle Meeks. I thought he had a really good game receiving.
Yeah, Lavelle's having a great year, and Lavelle actually got invited to the D3 Bowl game, which is the the bowl game where all the scouts come, and so it's a chance for D3 kids to get an opportunity for the NFL guys to see him.
Wow.
And Lavelle has been a great receiver for 2 years, and he's off to a red hot, start this year. About halfway through this season, I can't remember how many catches he's already got, but I know he's got 7 touchdowns, which leads the conference. So he's got an opportunity to go do that. So Lavelle Meeks is our Kemp's Offensive Player of the Week with 6 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, we're talking about the offense. You mentioned Josh Hardrick had a couple of drops, but he did have 5 catches for 60 yards. And I was glad to see Irvin's OG kind of get back into things. His number hasn't been called that much, but he had a couple of good catches in the ball game too.
Yeah, and OG's always our quiet one. We call him the old man of the group, but he always is going to come through. He's always going to get his 5 or 6 catches, and he usually quietly has close to 100 yards. Again, we're just really talented at the receiver spot. And really the game changed for us after Hank went out because it really kept us from throwing the ball down the field, which is what we wanted to do.
Yeah, and really it was. We noticed that y'all had a lot of success really in the middle of the field between the hash marks, whereas typically we kind of go to the sides, but y'all really had to change that, quickly release, trying to get down the middle of the field.
Yeah, we knew we could, with our speed, we could expose them in the middle of the field, and that was what we were trying to do, and we were going to try and do for the most of the game. But, like I said, the injuries happened, and it really became more of a dink and dunk kind of game, and we really tried to get the run game going, but that was tough. I mean, and again, hats off to those guys. Their defensive coordinator did a tremendous job, and they just got us stopped.
Well, over on the defensive side, someone who's really just been a standout all season long, I think Kyrie Page had one of his best games all total as far as his individual play in this one.
Yeah, Kyrie is young. He's a sophomore on the field. He's actually a junior in the classroom, but he's a sophomore on the field, so he's kind of an older guy with still a lot of years to play. Mm-hmm. So he's our BSN Defensive Player of the Week with 16 tackles, I believe, is what he had on the game. And Kyrie, didn't play last year, was in school, had to sit out a year after transferring. And then, he's very vocal, which I love. He's very energetic, has a lot of enthusiasm, and really gets after it. And I tell you what, he's a guy that can really run around, and he can hit you too. Something that
a lot of us love to watch football. We're up in stands. I get to watch it from the press box. But before the game, I was down the field. We had a chance to interview you and talk. And just standing around the guys, I'm sure you see this every day, but you forget how incredibly athletic these young men are. I mean, they just have this boundless energy as they're running around the field.
Well, and they got to be. It's football is a tough sport, and guys are colliding into each other at high rates of speed now. And so, they've got to be. They've got to physically get themselves ready. And when you look at your football season, everybody says, everything that's done in football season is what's going to win you a championship. It's what you do in the offseason that's going to win you a championship. It's how these guys perform in the weight room and how these guys perform on the field, preparing themselves conditionally. And all that is what brings them to football season. And then, what people don't realize is what we do in season on Sundays and Tuesdays when it comes to lifting weights, that's just recovery. Yeah. They're just trying to recover from a tough day on the field on Saturday. So it's really more about what they do in the offseason that's going to get them ready. We're rounding out to we've talked about offense, defense, special teams. And now I thought you might go something creative here because, Connor Blair had one of the longest punts of the year, a 49-yard quick kick. But Patrick Gooden, I think, was instrumental in keeping them at bay throughout the ball game. Well, I'll go and throw this one out there for the fans, too, because I think there was a point in the game right before half that we had called another quick kick with Connor Blair. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, he decided to throw it, and so he threw it right to the other team. And I just looked at him, and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, you're supposed to punt it dead. And he's like, well, I just thought I was going to get that guy open. I was like, they're running down the field expecting you to punt it. I said, they're not looking for the ball. And so, of course, their Mike linebacker picks it off, and I think he was kind of their player of the week. But, I mean, I was just like, Connor, come on now. We can't do that in those situations. All right, well, I think from the inside baseball point of view, I think we're all happy knowing that you didn't draw that one up. That was just Patrick. Connor decided to throw that down the field. Well, I'll tell you what, my better half over there who, obviously I've outkicked my coverage with my wife, no doubt. But she's in my ear quickly after games to tell me which ones I shouldn't have called which way. And she's like, what were you doing right there? And I was like, everybody in the stands is, upset. I'm like, well, that wasn't my call. Connor just decided to ad-lib in the middle of the game, and I was like, Connor, you just, and God bless him because he's trying so hard, and he does so many things great. And, for him right now, from where he was last year to this year, he makes very few mistakes in a game. And I just tell them, I said, look, when you do make that mistake, sometimes it's costly. And so we just got to try and iron that out. And then, again, that's just still him getting reps.
Well, another big part of things, I think, is playmakers want to make plays. And a lot of times they just think, I'm going to find a way to groove it in and get exactly where I want it to go.
Without a doubt. And I told him, I said, look, had you actually called a play and went for it, I would have been all for you. I would have been like, okay, you saw it. I've always said your best offensive coordinator is your quarterback. If he's the one that can change plays, I mean, everybody's watched on Sundays. You watch Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and those guys. They make coaches look great because they get out of bad plays and get into good plays.
Right. Checking off at the line. So let's go ahead and talk about the special teams player of the week.
Yeah, so our Hutchinson trailer special teams player of the week was Patrick Gooden, who's a tremendous punter, and he's really a guy that, if he kind of comes along and keeps preparing himself, he might have a chance to kick at the next level. He doesn't do it full-time for us because obviously he's playing receiver too, but if he really kind of dedicated himself to that, he might have a shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, his hang time is remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the ball way up in the air. A couple of times I don't think he got quite as deep as he wanted to, but he did catch on in some difficult situations.
Well, and you look at football on Sundays, and you look at like the CFL and those leagues, what they're really looking for is guys that can hang it up, because the longer they can hang it, then their guys can run underneath it and get it covered, and that's the big deal. If you're kicking them low, you don't have a shot.
Well, actually, that was one of the things that was kind of interesting in the ball game. Several times we had, I think there was one phantom fair catch call that the guy maybe put his hand out. It didn't look like it to me, but that was a penalty that went against us. But he had that ball so high in the air, we were right in front of him as the ball got to him.
Well, we were talking about it. It was actually Lavelle Meeks. Meeks is sitting there waving our guys away from it, because, he's saying, hey, get away from the ball, and it bounces, and then Meeks is like, well, I better field it, and so he fields it and he dives forward. Well, I asked the ref, I said, what are you doing? He's telling him to get away, and he said, well, it doesn't matter how he makes the signal. It's a fair catch signal. I said, no. I said, the fair catch signal is over your head. And we saw it again on TV later that night in another college game where a guy was waving his guys off, and they didn't call it fair catch. And so it was – and it's been hard, those officials, and I know, they have a hard job too, and they've got to see it and make calls, but sometimes, when they don't go your way, it's tough.
Yeah. Let's take another break. We'll talk about what's coming up this week. Right now, you're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show right here on Eagle Sports.
Students at LaGrange College travel to places like London, Tokyo, and the jungles of Costa Rica through our Study Away commitment. First-year freshmen are provided a voucher worth up to $2,500 for an off-campus travel experience their junior or senior year. Attend college close to home and still see the world at LaGrange College. Learn more at lagrange.edu/transform.
Calling all area coaches. Calling all area coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, and more. Mud Creek Team Sales is now selling sporting goods like Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rollins, and Russell for travel teams, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and more. For more information, call Mud Creek Team Sales today at 706-884-5592. Call Coach Jeter or Greg Hicks. Calling all area coaches. Mud Creek Team Sales with all your sporting goods. Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rollins, and Russell. Mud Creek Team Sales, a proud sponsor of today's game.
Have you eaten at Summit Grill? Well, tomorrow is your day to enjoy some biscuits in the morning. And for lunch, grab the blue plate with 3 sides and a drink. What? You want hand-breaded fresh chicken? Summit Grill has it. Let's say you want to feed the whole crew. Large orders are no problem. Chicken with bone-in or chicken tenders, Summit Grill's got you covered. 2 locations on West Point Road next to Pegasus Parkway in LaGrange, or on State Road in West Point, Georgia, next to Frisky Whiskey. Come eat with us at Summit Grill.
I don't know about you ladies, but I love to keep my car clean. The only problem is my schedule. I just don't have time to wash it myself. But I have found the place to go. The LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. They have great prices, and I always feel comfortable there. They do an amazing job. And if that's not enough to get you to give them a try, they also get you in and out in no time. LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. Open 8:30 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Just look for the giant gorilla at the LaGrange Car Wash.
Now back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show live here from Marisol. We thank you for joining us tonight. And, Coach, you got a guest over here?
Yeah, I guess apparently we're really good at just letting kids come over here and sit at the table with us and talk on the radio and become famous, I guess. So, Jackson Malone, we're excited to have you here, buddy.
Thank you.
Jackson, now I've been asked to check with you about something. We hear that there are some extremely talented people that work in your school, and one of them may be your school counselor. Is your school counselor pretty good?
Yes.
Now, what's her name?
Miss Phaedra.
Okay, all right. So Coach's wife is actually your counselor. Have you had to go to her for any problems?
No.
Nothing that your dad's done to you or anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right. Just giving your dad a little hard time since he's here tonight.
You don't want to get on the bad side of that school counselor, I promise you.
But it is a great night to come out here to Marisol. There's lots of folks having a great time tonight, so we do invite you to come out if you haven't had a chance. We're going to take another quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up live here on the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show on Eagle Sports.
Everywhere you look on your campus, some event is happening, and that's the way you want it. But keeping your active campus clean and looking its best isn't easy. Nonetheless, National makes it look easy. Low staff turnover and a commitment to excellence allow National to ensure your campus from top to bottom, inside and out, is always perfect and spotless. Parents and students alike give us a 4.0, and we settle for nothing less. You'll like having National on the job.
Visit us at teamnational.com to see what National can do for you.
Listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show. We're getting ready to close things out here from Marisol tonight. Coach, big week, a lot of stuff going on as we're heading into homecoming.
Yeah, it is. I think they're going to have a pep rally on Thursday. I think they've got the concert on Friday night.
Tonic and Driving and Crying coming in Friday night at the Sweetland Amphitheater.
Which will be a big deal. Of course, all my guys will be in bed getting ready for the 1 o'clock game on Saturday.
They better.
Against Ferrum. And Ferrum's done a good job. They got a new coach this year, and he's done a good job getting them to 3-3. So it's 3-3 versus 3-3. We're both sitting right middle of the pack, and obviously it'll be a big game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They're probably a 50-50 team on offense. We like to throw it around a little bit, obviously, but hopefully we'll get a couple of our injured guys back and we'll be able to get after them.
A lot of things happen. We had Martha Perkle with LaGrange College last week talking about some of the different events. I know that things are going on all week long. Coach, they use the word distraction a lot in the media when they talk about college football teams and pro teams and stuff like that. Sometimes these are great things for the kids, but can they be a distraction for your players?
Without a doubt. I think as coach, that's the thing you worry about the most. Our basketball last week kicked off Midnight Madness, and I caught some of my guys out watching that, and so you just try to take away these elements of distraction from your guys, and at this level it's tougher because when people see like the Division I teams like what Georgia or Auburn or Georgia Tech or what any of them do, they're all in a hotel, and their coaches are checking their rooms and making sure that they're down and ready to go. For us, our guys just go back to the dorm. We check them at 10:30, but then they're kind of on their own to do what they're supposed to do.
Well, and I also reflect back of myself into my 18, 19, 20, 21 years, and I didn't always make the best decisions.
Sometimes they slip up on the decision-making process.
No, we don't want to get specific, and I think the statute of limitations is out on most of that. But luckily, I just much like you, I outkicked my coverage and got a wife that got me on the straight and narrow as well.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do without my wife. Us coaches, it's a tough profession, and it's every week. And, her support and her devotion to me has been awesome. And so I'm definitely a blessed man that she's in my life.
Well, Coach, very often, right after a ball game, you're already you're reflecting back a little bit, but you're already game planning for the next one. So I'm sure that is a difficult thing sometimes to have a family life.
Yeah, it doesn't last long because, Sunday we had to start getting ready for Ferrum, and kind of put Huntington to bed. My wife was right there to console me for an evening, but you don't have time to dwell on it. It's basically, I watched the film late Saturday night. Phaedra sat there and watch all our mistakes and just sit there and write them down, talk to the team on Sunday morning, and then get right into Ferrum and get focused on this week.
We'll hope you'll join us. That game's coming up this Saturday live from Callaway Stadium. The 1 o'clock kickoff?
1 o'clock kickoff.
1 o'clock kickoff. So make sure you make your way out there. Get there early. There'll be a lot of great tailgating going on, a lot of things that are going on with the alumni. I've had several folks from my years back in the 80s text me. They're looking forward to being there. So it's going to be a great time. Please come out and join us at Callaway Stadium for the LaGrange High School. It's not LaGrange High School. I see the Yellow Burks just came in. I'm already talking LaGrange High. LaGrange College's homecoming. For Coach Mumme, I'm Jack Pullman. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week on the radio.